So, hi friends, we are onto the part five of active voice and passive voice. And active and passive voice are not used everywhere. Whenever the situation is there, you can use it. So today, in the previous, sessions, I have already covered a lot of things. Today, we are going to cover something very interesting for you, and this particular things is going to help you a lot, whether written communication or spoken English, whatever it may be. It is going to help you 100%. So let's something very interesting. And let me tell you, my friends, once you learn these things, perhaps today we are going to close the session for this active and passive. Then we can study something else, and practice session will be there, coupled with so many things. Interesting things will be there. Okay. So what is more important? Let's learn something called active and passive voice in part five, right? Something called active and passive voice, part five. So we are going to learn something called active to passive voice, part five. Active versus passive, right? Let me tell you, friends, whether it is active or passive, that whenever there is situation, it is all about the situation based. You all have to understand that we are not going to use it like at will. At will, we are not going to at will. We need certain situation, and let me put it once more, because that is something called the very fundamental concept of using active and passive voice in different situations. What is the situations? Let me put it once more for your understanding. So let me tell you, friends, whenever I say active, I say active means you want to identify, your focus is on subject. Your focus your focus is on subject. Your focus is on subject. Or in other words, you can say that you need to identify the subject. And whenever I say passive, what is passive? Passive is something that your entire focus is on the action part. The entire focus on action part, right? That means why you want to use this particular things, either you don't know the subject or you don't want to identify it. Let me make it clear. You want to use passive. There is a situation in your life, in a particular moment, where you don't want to name the subject, because you don't want to name the subject, or you don't know the subject. That means the actual identity of that particular subject is unknown to you. Whenever it is completely unknown to you, you can say, you can use, this is something called active and passive. You can use passive whenever your entire focus is on the action part. Whenever you can use active, your focus is on the subject, right? I have given a lot of examples. Today, we are specifically going to discuss present perfect, because we have used present simple, past simple, present perfect, past perfect, right? And we are going to learn something very interesting. That is something called, we have learned something called present progressive, above past progressive. And today I am going to learn something very interesting, that is called present perfect and past perfect. So let's learn something called present perfect. Okay, present perfect. Let's learn something called present perfect. Let me tell you, my friends, what is the situation? Situation is very simple. Like, if you want to take out the timeline, what is the timeline? This is my timeline for present perfect. So this is right now. Something I said in the past, finish in the past, but effect is there. Whenever I say effect, and that is called present perfect. And what is the structure I have given you? The structure is something called subject. This is already I inform you. Subject plus has or have plus V3, right? You can say like, I have taken tea. I have been there. You have a lot of structures. You have a lot of examples to give, right? So that means the action is, this is something called future. If you say this is called future, and this is called something called past, right? This is my past and this is called future. And right now, the action has already been completed in the past, but its effect, the prabhavataj, right? We have already given a lot of examples whenever you have gone through this kind of structures. But today we are not going to discuss that. We are going to learn what is the situation where we can use active and what is the situation where you can use passive as far as present perfect or past perfect is concerned. Very interesting, right? So this is the structure I have already given you, that is being subject plus has plus have plus B3. And this is something called we are using in active, right? Suppose you can give a lot of examples. You can say, I have taken tea. So that means, suppose you are here right now. It's let it be, it is, you think that this is right 9 o'clock. And suppose 8 o'clock, you have taken tea. You can say, I have taken tea, because at 8 o'clock, you have taken tea, and its effect is there at 9 o'clock. When something is effect is there. And these things, I have given you a lot of examples. Let's don't focus on that. We are going to focus on something else. What we are going to focus? What is the passive structure? What is the passive? That's very important, my dear friends. Please pay utmost attention, because this is something we are looking at, and perhaps maybe this is going to be the last class for active and passive. Maybe it takes one more class. If it is required, we can take it. Otherwise, let me tell you, my friends, we have to finish it up, right? Some called passive. What is the structure? Passive structure is that, so we have what we have already taken. Whenever it is passive, we have to take something else called the object in the, I mean the primary part. It is the initial part, right? It should be object plus has or have plus been plus V3, right? Check it out. Object plus has or have plus been plus V3. Why it is important? Been, it is a part of the structure. You cannot change it. You'll ask me, sir, why been is there? Because this is the structure. It is something called the structure. Subject plus has or have plus V3. I cannot explain why it is there. It is there, how the English people use like this, right? So whenever I try to, this is something called active and this is called something passive. If let me take this particular example, I want to make it passive. Here this is called T is the object part. I can say T, here has or have. T is called singular now. Singular. Teach, you are not telling teach, right? There is nothing called, you can say tea, water, something like that. These are called, what you can say, these are called singular. They are called singular. You cannot, this is called uncountable noun, because you cannot count tea, you cannot count water. So these are called uncountable. With uncountable noun, always you can say the water is salty. The water is salty, not water are salty. Water is salty, right? So that's why T is always take the singular form. Whenever it takes singular form, obviously has or have will be there. The T, you can say T has been taken, V3, take, took, taken, taken by me. This is something called the usual, active to passive. But what I already informed you, my friends, don't use by me with whenever you are trying to use active to passive. And all your present achievement or your past achievement or what you have done so far, always take the ownership and express it. Don't use by somebody, by Hari, by Ram, by Sita, by me, by them. Don't use by clause in active to passive in spoken English. That's very important. If you say, sir, whether we'll get mark in written communication, I am quite silent on spoken English. I mean, on written communication. I'm very much interested in spoken English because most of the guys are either going to corporate sector or are in the corporate sector. So remember, we have to learn the language of corporate sector. That is called spoken English. You go anywhere without spoken English, it is quite difficult. And you have to speak English as something called like a corporate citizen. Whenever you want to speak English as a corporate citizen, you should know every nuances of the uses of spoken English, right? So remember, the first, I have already given you these things, but let me clarify today itself. Don't use active every time. Don't use passive every time. Whenever it is required, use that things. And all your achievement. What is your achievement? Suppose you say, I am a BTech guy. Who is BTech? You are BTech, right? So you are taking ownership. I am an NCA guy. I have done MBA. So who has done MBA? You have done, right? So take the ownership. And in that particular situation, always use active. Suppose you are sitting in an interview, right? Suppose I am taking an interview and suppose Raju sir is coming to face the interview. So if I'll ask you, can you tell me something about the qualification? Whatever the qualification, never use passive. Always use active because you want to identify yourself. Try to understand. Whenever you are focusing on the subject, who has done this? I have done that. I have taken this one. Then why should you use passive? Will you say that an MBA degree was done by me? No, that is not the usual way. You can say, sir, that was possible in the written communication we are starting in college stage. Yes, that may be possible for securing marks, but that particular thing is not going to help you out at this point of time. Remember, it's very clear, my friends. Don't use don't use passive whenever you want to identify something about yourself. You want to take, I can say that I have 2 brothers and 3 sisters. I belong to Odisha. I'm a citizen of Odisha. Here I want to identify myself. I have done BTech. I have completed 5 research papers. I do have some experience with emphasis. I have 5-year experience in a software firm. So why? Because you are trying to identify yourself. You cannot say like that, no. 5-year experience was acquired by me in a software firm. It's, it's something called very illogical. It's completely illogical. Like already I informed you, suppose I am a boy, but he is a boy. You can't ask me, sir, I is how? No. Why? Because I am is called natural collocation. Already inform you about collocation. Those who have attended my class yesterday, they already know something about collocation. Collocation means that is the natural way of combining 2 words, right? Exactly same way. This is how the foreigners used to speak whenever they want to or they are speaking. They always speak like this. You can say like, I have done like this. I have done like that. You cannot say this was done by me. What is the need of by me again? Right? Suppose let me give you, look, I have taken tea. The tea has been taken by me. Here I want to identify myself. Here I have identified myself. Here I have identified. Here also I have identified. What is the need of again using passive and by me? Are you getting my point, everybody? So whenever you want to identify yourself, always use active. You want to identify somebody, always use active. Suppose let me give another example. You can easily understand that. Suppose let me give you another example here. Suppose you can say, my friend has broken the chair. So here, what you have understood that here, my friend you have highlighted. Who has done that? My friend has done that. Obviously, it's a negative work. It's not a positive work. So you don't want to identify your friend. So how can you say the chair has been broken? That's all. The chair has been broken. You are going to a bank. Suppose it's 2 o'clock, 2:30. You are rushing to get some money, but you know that ATM counter has been closed. Have you ever seen who has done that? No. Can you say the bank manager has put the shutter? No, you don't know. You can say, suppose suppose like Raju sir is my friend. We are running a company. I can say, Raju sir, just rush up to the bank and take 5 lakhs. We have to meet the expenditure. Then the Raju sir will ask me, sir, it's already 2:30. We'll be there. Just check it out. Just rush. Then Raju sir, took the bike and rush there. So he can find it's closed. He has not seen who has closed that thing. He can say, sir, I just come to the bank and I find it has been closed. It has been closed because the bank has been closed because Raju sir has not seen the person who has closed the door or closed the shutter. So that's why he can say use the passive. Here you don't want to identify your friend. You can say the chair has been broken. माने जदि आमे ओडिया रे कहबा चेयर टा भांगी जाईची किए भांगी आई डोंट नो because you don't want to identify your friend. So in your life you can come across so many situations where you don't want to name the person. Right now let me tell you something. Suppose Virat Kohli is not playing well or Bhuvneshwar Kumar is not playing well. All are cricket lovers. All the male have joined right now. All cricket lovers. So you can say, sir, Virat Kohli has been removed from the team. Has been removed. किए बाहर कला आपण देखुथिबे जो हमरो न्यूज़पेपर रे दे हैव रिटन लाइक दिस विराट कोहली हैज बीन लेफ्ट आउट आपण भाबुथिबे हैज बीन लेफ्ट आउट व्हाई इट हैज बीन बिकॉज़ द न्यूज़पेपर doesn't want to identify the person he has done it. Obviously the selector have done it किंतु एमती लिखा जायनी विराट कोहली has been left out by the selectors. आपण पाइबेनी. You can check it the sports page tomorrow. You check out those sports page tomorrow and then come with me. You are getting this. Never. And I think Pati sir is there. He can give a lot of explanation. Once the session is over, we can go because he also belongs to a newspaper. One daily newspaper. He can tell you a lot about how things have been written. Because in newspaper also, they don't want to highlight because that may be a defamation case. If I'll say Saurav Ganguly, Virat Kohli was left out or removed by Saurav Ganguly, then Saurav Ganguly is going to put a defamation case against the newspaper. Do you know that I have done that? It is the group of selector have done that. Then group of selector, do you know that? It is the chairman who did that. The chairman will call it is we have done that. So whenever you are not getting any point, why should I going to point a person? So that's why in the safer, in order to be in a safe place, you have to always use the passive. Let me tell you, suppose you guys are coming right now, you can say the agitators, I'll explain it, don't worry. The agitators have closed the door, close the road. You feel like this. The agitators means the person who are going for the agitation. Agitation means a kind of protest, right? You are sitting in dharna, you are going towards, you are marching towards the chief minister or residence, something like that. You can say agitators. Anybody can be agitators in a single day. Like suppose I am a jobless person. A lot of jobless persons are going to PMG Square to agitate. Agitators means in Odia ame taku vikshopakari boli कहउछन्ते, like those who really protest, right? So you can say the agitators have closed the door. तो आपण देखिथिले, आपण तो देखि नाहंती. So why you are going to name the agitators? So you can say, suppose who are the agitators, you don't know also, you don't know their identity. आपण से रास्ता रे जाउछन्ती, आपनकर ऑफिस टा होची लेट बी पीएमजी पाखरे इन मास्टर कैंटीन तो आपण बॉस फोन करूछंती जितेंद्र सर को जितेंद्र व्हाट हैपेंस इट इज ऑलरेडी 10 o'clock you have not office don't you know that the client is sitting before you have to take the queries so that time then Jitendra sir called sir the road is singular the road has been closed here object is road you can say like this okay let me put it like this here the road is the object you can say the road here the road has or have because road is singular not two one road or the means one road the road has been closed how can I go the road has been closed because he doesn't know who has closed it who has closed that he doesn't know so that's why you can say like the road has been closed so I can't move forward so I am stationary in one place once the agitators or the police is coming to latticher them then we'll be in a position otherwise I'm stuck in a position I cannot go forward I cannot move forward like that you can say so why use that road has been closed the this Jiten sir doesn't have any idea who has closed the road who has really responsible you हठात से तो माने देखिला पर लेट मी गिव अनदर एग्जांपल दैट्स वेरी वाइटल आल्सो सपोज मु ऑफिस को आसिली मु देखिली जे पांचटा चेयर भंगा है जाई तले मो फर्स्ट स्टेटमेंट कोन रहइबो व्हाट विल बी माय स्टेटमेंट आई कैन से 5 chairs have been broken 5 chairs have been broken तो अपन को विषय अपन जानना है नो then let me tell you I'll tell let me check the CCTV footage then I can find out the culprit suppose I find it out that Govind has done that then I can say Govind has broken 5 chairs so before that how can I tell that he is the culprit so I don't want to name anybody the focus is on action part you don't want to name the subject or you don't know the subject who has done that I don't know what I find it out in my office 5 chairs have been broken so once I commit I oh my god what happens my chair has been broken who has broken it okay let me check the CCTV footage then I can find it suppose I can find that Govind has done it then I can say that Govind has done it or broken the chair so remember whenever I came for the first time and I discovered that my chair has been broken there may be some responsibility of somebody but after after I'm sure that that guy has done that then I can say active so remember active is when your focus is on subject you want to focus Govind you have done it yes I have seen it you have done it look at the CCTV footage but if I don't know I can say oh my god my chair has been broken I have to if I don't have a CCTV I don't know then I can say oh my god I don't know like no it was unlocked yesterday so somebody has broken it then we say somebody why you are going to somebody what is the meaning of somebody nobody knows so better use the chair has been broken I have to purchase a new one that's all so whenever you're very sure that somebody has done that use active you are not sure or for security reason let me check it give you another example 5 terrorists have been killed why who have killed the terrorists I don't know I can say 5 terrorists were killed or have been killed for security reason for Lance Naik Jitendra Kumar Lance Naik I Sonu Khan I don't want to identify that person for security reason because if the terrorists come to know that Jitendra ji has done that obviously they are going to kill him so for security reason there is a security apparatus in our army so they never identify the person who has done it suppose a woman was raped and murdered so police is investigating the case so how the newspaper for Pati sir want to identify that how can you do that a woman in her 70s was brutally raped and murdered passive because that time the investigation was going on then suppose person has done it or like X guy has done it how they come to know then how can they identify that person so that's why passive so in a lifetime you will find a lot of people a lot of situations where you don't want to name the person or you don't know the person who is that guy so in that particular situation you can use passive so passive is you have the luxury to use active everywhere you have the luxury You can use active everywhere. But remember, my friends, whenever you are trying to use passive, always be particular. You don't want to name the subject, or you don't know the subject. The newspaper have the audacity to name and fame that guy, but they don't know. It is just spotted by the reporter. Is spotted that one the prima facie case say that one lady in her 70s or 80s or married lady has been raped and murdered. So how the newspaper people come to know that this fellow has murdered it? No, because it is subsequent investigation reveal who will do that, or who did this work. So let me tell you, my friends, whenever you don't want to identify the person, and basically if you just look at the headlines, all the headlines of TV, check out the headlines, newspaper, check out the headlines, and in a lot of your conversation, let me give an example. Suppose you are all, we are in a corporate setup, we are in a corporate setup. So I mean, Mohammed Murtaza sir is the team leader. I can call the team leader and tell, Mohammed ji, today I'm assigning this task to you and your team. This has to be done. This has to be done. I'll not tell you, you have to do that. Whether you do or your team do. Ram, Syam, Jadu, whatever, 5 people are do. I don't care. This has to be done. This is something called passive. That means your entire focus in the action part. You want the action. 5 lakh sales target has to be met by today. Who are going to do? Hari is going to do. Sam is going to do. Swan is going to do. Or Robert is going to do. I don't know. It has to be done. That's it. Right? So whether you're in a corporate environment, or you are in a different way also in your day-to-day life, you are always using passive, but you don't know how to use it. So we have taken already 5 different classes, like where exactly you can use. The concept is very loud and clear. The concept is pretty crystal clear. What is the thing? That if you focus on subject, then use active. If you don't focus on subject, use passive. That's all. 2 things. There is no third things. There is only 2 things. You have the audacity, or you really want to in your personal achievement. Why should you? Suppose you say, I won 5 prizes in my school days. Will you say that 5 prizes were won by me? Why? What is the need of that? You want to highlight your success. You are very proud of your own success stories. So what is the need of making it passive? So let me tell you a little bit in Oriya. Upon mane se jo Oriya jo thila guru, je I eat a mango is eaten by me. I am eating a mango is being eaten by me. I have eaten a mango has been eaten by me. तो आपण बहुत खुश थिले से समय से सेटा कोई कामर लागिलानी. Waste of exercise. आपण देखंतु, this is coming to your health. जदि आपण कहबे सर परीक्षा देखंतु, परीक्षा समथिंग आपण a plus b होल स्क्वायर पढिथिले को कामर लागुची आपनकर, unless until you are a mathematician or you are a project assistant in NASA, ISRO, like that. जनरल लोक जो माने सकाळ उठी की किछि काम करिया पे जाउछन्ती लाइक यू एंड मी, आपण a plus b होल स्क्वायर कोठी यूज करू, किंतु सेटा गोटे बिग इश्यू थिला. sin थीटा cos थीटा tan थीटा sec थीटा, all the things आपण कोठी कामर लगाउछन्ती मने करू. So forget about the theory. We are coming to the practical part. So don't bring that theory and try to mix it with practical and confuse yourself. Don't do that, please, my friends. Mu jaha kohuchi apan bujhi honi, please, you have every right to ask me question. I am even up to 12 o'clock, I'll still here. I don't have any problems. I don't have any problems. I can stand here and clear your doubt, then I can log out the session. Because I love the classes, I love taking classes. तो आपनकर डाउट जदि थिबो मते जीवा पय मो रातिर सोई परिबेनी सर. लेट मी टेल यू वेरी ऑनेस्टली, जदि आपनकर कहार भी गोटे डाउट अछि आउ से माने मन दुखरे जीवो, मते भी ठीक लागिवोनी, बट आपण से पुराना कथा आनि के जदि रखिबे ताल मु ता आंसर किछि दे परिबिनी. व्हाई? बिकॉज़ दैट इज समथिंग कॉल्ड written communication, and written communication is no value in these days. That is everything is passive. Even आपण कहबे सर एडा को हमें लिखि परिबु कि written रे, yes, that's what I'm going to tell. सपोज गोटे आपण गोटे मैनेजर कंपनी लेट बी राजू सर गोटे मैनेजर तो राजू सर कौन करछंती राइट नाउ राजू सर से आसिला बेलू मनकर गोटे चेयर टे भांगी जाइए ऊपर बॉस को से लिखे तो सी कौन कहे डियर सर दिस इज टू इन्फॉर्म यू दैट one chair has been broken full stop. I am just in the process of looking out the culprit in the CCTV. It will take some time and I'll update you shortly. This is for your kind information and necessary action full stop. Over. This is also corporate English. This is a complete mail. This is called mail communication. तो अपन कहे सर बाय समबडी व्हाई मो क्वेश्चन आंसर दियंतु बिफोर यू कैन गो यू हैव टू आंसर माय क्वेश्चन देन यू कैन आस्क एनीथिंग अपन जदि मनकर बाय लगेबे सर मु आगुरु पढिथिले अपन आगुरु पढिथिले माने सेटा अपन यूज करिवे देयर इज नो माने तार किछि मीनिंग ही नाही कहीं ना एठी कॉर्पोरेट सिटीजन हवा पय चाहउछंती वी वांट टू बी मॉडर्न वी वांट टू लर्न समथिंग न्यू तो गोटे ओल्ड कांसेप्ट रे थिला बोली ताकू हमें आज भी पढिबा मु भाबुची सेटा इलॉजिकल तार किछि यथार्थता नाही in this particular scenario. So let me tell you my friends, active passive for your corporate communication you can use the same. Upon कभी sir written communication, yes very much you can use. You don't want to focus on, you can say sir once I came Ravi has broken the chair, please take necessary action. Over. The chair has been broken, I'm looking into the CCTV, so this is for your kind actions. Once I get the culprit I'll just forward his name, so you can take action as for the company rule and regulation. Over. So that is how it is going to do. So what is more important, that your focus is on the subject part. Whenever your focus is on subject part, then you can say that you can identify that person. If you don't want to you don't want to focus that particular subject, you don't want to focus that, or you don't want to name that, you can easily go for passive. So either passive and active, time and again telling one thing. Focus on passive if it is required, if you don't want to name the subject, that's all. आउ सबुथेरे आपण एक्टिव रु पैसिव होउची आपण सारे घरे गोटे छुरीटे अछि नाइफ सेटा आपण फळ काटिया पे रखछन्ती आपण कोन सारे सेटा 24 धरि के बोलछन्ती ना तो एवरी यू विल टेरराइज एवरीबॉडी आपण घरु के आसीबेन यू विल बी पुलिस केस विल बी फाइल्ड अगेंस्ट यू तो जेमती गोटे जिंसो आपणकर एक्टिव रु पैसिव करियार गोटे फॉर्मूला आपण जानिछन्ती किंतु सब समय यूज करंतु व्हेन इट इज रिक्वायर्ड यूज दैट whenever it is required use that, that's all. So this is all you can say, this is all about. And other things I want to tell you, present perfect progressive, I have been working there, he has been. Normally we don't use passive there normally. If you say 99% we are not using normally. So this is all about your active to passive as far as present tense and past tense is concerned. One is called present simple, past simple, present progressive, past progressive, and this is called present perfect, past perfect. This will be had. The agitator had closed the door, the road had been closed, that is in past. Okay, the concept remains the same. आमे जेंति कहउतले प्रेजेंट परफेक्ट रे कांसेप्ट कोन रहछि ना, कांसेप्ट इज सेम. The action has already been completed but effect is there. सेंति if you want to use that, I have given a lot of examples, so ताकू हमें tense and time रे पढिबानी. So let me tell some things about here, that active रो passive करिया पय हेले दीटा जिंस फोकस करिवे, nothing else. First of all मु paraphrase कर दोउची whatever I taught you. First of all, your focus is on subject, active. All your personal highlight, personal achievement, active. You don't want to name somebody for a particular situation, passive. That's all. That's all. That is the fundamental. So this is all about the fundamentals for today. So